Hey, good morning. Breakfast with Sandy on a very rainy day here in New Jersey. Hope everybody's doing great today. 2 weeks away from the Christmas season and whatever season you celebrate. Actually, Hanukkah is also falling on Christmas this year, which is kind of cool. Celebrate with friends and family all at one time. Getting ready, getting prepared for 2025. So today I kind of wanted to think about we have a bunch of new members in our world, and one of the things I'm hearing most often is about execution, making a plan, sticking with it, executing. And I think that's the hardest part. Like, we all have these big visions of what we want in our companies and what we want for our teams. And one thing that I know over the years that I've had to continuously work on, is about executing in a really great fashion that's going to get a project done and accomplished. So, we train on content, we train people how to be better leaders operationally, looking at sales process, systems and processes, SOPs, KPIs, you name it, we're training it. But it's about how do we integrate it into our business, how do we integrate it into our daily routine, and how can we create some kind of formality and framework around that. And I know people get stuck because there's so much coming at them at one time. So, what do we do? How do we create something that has some kind of stickiness, some kind of long term scalability? Oh, my dog's barking. And looking at how to not create resistance in your team. So I think about a framework about leadership, and we'll just use this one as an example because there are so many of you that are owners that listen to me in the morning and critical managers. So for me, leadership is one of the most important jobs out there, right? So really, no matter what position you're in, you are in a leadership position. You have the ability to affect other people on your team. What you're really doing is managing systems that someone else creates, and whether it's a vision that you have for yourself, and how are we going to be able to look at that vision and create people to have autonomy really in the role that they have. What are we doing to hold them accountable and without micromanaging, because nobody wants a micromanager. And I think we all have different levels of how we like to be held accountable. I know for me in our company that we always were looking at, how do we develop the standard operating procedures? How do we develop a scorecard? And how do we allow you to make decisions for the company in the best interest of you, the company, the team, whatever that looks like. So creating a framework and then executing on the process. So I think of this as not only the owner, because the owner really is the visionary of the company. They're the ones who are driving the company. But the general managers, if you're lucky enough to have someone in that position, they're the ones who are looking at creating the frameworks in order to hold people accountable. So one of the things I thought about when we've been training some of our new people is checklists and processes and timelines. So really about what needs to get done, and again, one thing at a time. We're not taking on all of these because that's what creates resistance in a team. That's going to make people fall back, fall behind, get distracted, get overwhelmed, and really looking at it as creating a process, but first coming up with the idea, like what needs to get done, what project, what's most critical at the time, what process, and then what timeline, and who's going to be the important people on the team to carry it out to fruition. So I know for us at CEO Warrior, and we just did this for 2 days last week, we had a launch meeting and we created with our CEO all the new initiatives that we have on the board. Who do we want to become? What does 2025 look like? And then we looked at each team member to fill out more of like a one pager of how they're going to create that, how are we going to integrate it. And for me, that holds me accountable to my timeline. And then what are going to be the daily check-ins. So each member of the team, again, is going to fill out maybe a one pager. And the weekly check-ins are a way for us to report back. So what are we working on? How far have we come? And maybe KPI in the initiative. I think that's incredibly important to be able to manage it and measure from where you're creating that integration. And then obviously we celebrate our victories. We've had tons to celebrate around here in this last year. Super proud of our team. We've done some amazing things and having, making progress in our initiative to help companies become better run companies, scalable, and if maybe possibly sellable. So set clear vision for success. What is that going to look like? Right? We always talk about clarity. Who's going to be leading the initiative? List all the resources that are going to be necessary in order to carry out the initiative. And what is the timeline in which we need that project done? Because if we can make sure that we have this clear vision for what the initiative is and how to integrate it, then at the very end, we're going to be able to be done and move on. What's next? But I believe in foundationally, especially for you guys coming into 2025, it's about a target. And then how do we reverse engineer that target and what needs to get done in order to make that the reality for you and for your company? Because we easily get distracted. You guys run emergency-based companies. And for me, that just sets a tone for reactivity, right? So we're watching for distractions from the priorities that we're engaging with on a daily basis, holding weekly check-ins. We're making sure we don't forget important details of the project. What's the level of importance? So, maybe even use something that we use here, 531, with a level of importance. Maybe we kind of categorize it that way. And then even I think about answering questions that are going to help us. So what each team member has gotten done, and that should be your weekly check-in. Maybe it's in your management meeting with a clear agenda, right? What have they gotten done? What is the progress? How far are we from the finish line? What is each team member going to be doing next? So this is how we build out a proper framework. And then what are some blockages that are stopping us from making this happen? So we're asking each team member how they would like to be measured for progress, because we all are different learners. We're all different implementers, and we all like to be celebrated differently, right? Some of us are inspirational. Some of us like to be motivated differently. So finding out what that means for me and for everybody on the team. Good morning, Kevin. Membership boot camp today. Kevin's going to be leading the charge on creating better service contracts for our clients today in about a half an hour. Super excited about that day. And really that's kind of what we've been gearing ourselves towards, and it's been working very well. So I wanted to bring that to you guys this morning. And from somebody who easily gets distracted, this is a really surefire way of keeping us clear on our objectives, aligned with what it's going to mean for the company's vision, and then bringing it home, really. And then next, what's next? And maybe it's not a 90-day plan for you that works well. Maybe it's not just a task list, but how do we operate so that we're at optimal efficiency? And that's for you guys to decide. But if you need help, give us a call, right? You can book a call with me on ceowarrior.com. Book a strategy session. Let's figure out a way to make you more effective and efficient in your role. Doesn't matter if you're the owner, general manager, or just a critical manager, somebody in a leadership position. Let us help you. Let us guide you. That's what we're here, is always to guide and support. Super proud of what my team, again, has accomplished this year, and we've been using these initiatives. So again, I think it was really a great topic for today, and seeing what some of our members are doing in our onboarding and how we're helping them to create some quick wins for their company, to understand where they are, where they want to be, what does that gap look like, and be able to help them move along in the process, again, without that overwhelm. And 'tis the season, right? Because there's so much going on, fun company parties, celebrations, as it should be. And what's going to happen for next year? What is that going to look like? Create the vision and then carry out. We need to make sure that we make that plan. So I hope everybody has a phenomenal Wednesday. It's been a great week so far, and I'm looking forward to Kevin's membership boot camp today, so I'll be hopping on there. And my team, I think, will all be hopping on there at some point today, so we look forward to seeing some of you members that are listening today, and also some new prospective members. So thank you very much for all of you have done for us in, I think, what's been 4 months of Breakfast with Sandy, and hoping that we can keep bringing you a value. So thanks so much, guys. Have a fantastic day.